Welcome to the AI Riff, where we cut through the noise and break down the top AI stories of the week with real talk and real relevance. No hype, no fluff, just a vendor agnostic take on what's actually shaping your world today. Whether you're in tech, lending, or just trying to make sense of the headlines, we're here to separate the wheat from the chaff and the facts from fiction. Now let's get started with your hosts, Mario Di Benedetto, Rob Katz, Ruth Lee, and me, Kyle Myers. We hope you enjoy this episode of the AI Riff.
Welcome to episode 35. I said it out loud.
Nice.
Is it really? Is that
It is.
Well, wait. Never mind.
Maybe 36.
I'll give you 36. That's right.
Yeah. Which Super Bowl is it that the Seahawks were going to win? Let's call it that number. What's the
60.
LMLXCI? Like, why the hell did they use
60?
Roman numerals?
Is
Super Bowl?
it
Makes
60?
no sense.
It is
So we
60.
got to get to 60. The Seahawks made it to 60, so we got to go to 60.
Sadly, I know the Super Bowl is always the age I'll turn that year.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the only way I can remember.
Nice.
You were born when Super Bowl was done.
There's so many places I can go with that, and I am going to resist.
Leave
I'm going to
the
resist.
Ricky Bobby reference away. So don't go there. What do we got today, Mario?
So we're going to do a little riff, or maybe a big riff, a dog walk riff, on a blog post that I wrote, which was intended to try to help lenders to know how to pre-screen AI vendors.
Mm-hmm.
The premise being that we're in mortgage technology, we're not like almost everything else you hear in AI, where people can produce AI and you can start using it. Like, there are so many regulations on what you have to do with the AI to make it auditable. Just start there, right? To make it auditable down the road, that we're different. And the premise was, well, what if you had this kind of a short list of questions that you said, hey, can you do this? Or how do you handle this? Or what do you do there? As a way to say, like, should I even bother getting really excited about this thing that might be super cool, but might not be at all like defensible when the CFPB walks in my door?
Yeah, I'm just going to say human in the loop. That's it. AIs is only as good as the human in the loop that confirms things, and you can't, as much as you can trust it, when you're, as some of these small mortgage bankers are, their house is on the line, literally. So they can't put all this trust in AI and not know what it's doing. If you can get the right questions to ask a vendor, what's your AI doing again? I know you take this input and you produce this output, but what are you doing? How does it work? If you don't have an answer to that, you're going to be in trouble.
Can we just pause, and can I just say I literally had a call with a lender, small lender, this week, and they were asking some questions about somebody else's AI. And I asked, do you have access to all the logs? Does it post, tell you what it started with and what it ended with and the things that use it to get to its conclusion? He says, yeah, I don't know. And I said, well, it has to.
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't, like, you're in violation. Like, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm not sure everybody is necessarily always in tune that these things, like what Freddie Mac laid out and everything else, are serious requirements on the way you do business.
So I agree with Kyle, your point about human in the loop, but I'm going to put an asterisk on it and just go, all right, let me be the skeptic, I guess. If I have to have a human in the loop, why do I need this AI tool? If I
That's the
double
evaluation.
check and
Yep.
verify and validate and document and log and audit proof, then the AI is not bringing me any value.
Yep. Whereas you don't have to go to that extreme. You can just define your process when there's humans, but you have to go over the top documentation on what this AI is doing. How do you get inside someone's head that's a checker of checkers they're just checking the checkers, and you have it, and you tell Fannie, Freddie, and all the others, we have this checker here. He's doing this. And they're like, okay. But if you say you're having AI do it, they want all this other stuff. It's like, it's kind of crazy. I agree with you, Rob.
So, about a year and a half ago, I started a white paper on XAI. And
Has it been
I
that
was,
long?
huh?
Has it been that long? I thought we read it.
It's been forever. No, I could never quite publish it because every time I would go to check it, there would be something that had changed. Lap and Shine, Lyman Shap had changed to Varshap, and it kept being all of these things. Now, the reality is that it's not even that hard. I mean, if you go right now to Hugging Face and you ask them to do look at how they do their XAI, I mean, it's not even like magic. It's a pretty simple formula. It's just very common sense, but other things that you have to be paying attention to is where are your vendors using AI, shadow AI within their process that they're not telling you about because they don't, that's their secret sauce and stuff like that. Because to Maria's point, I mean, we have, disparate impact, disparate, treatment are real, whether how we make a decision, and there are whole parts of our industry that we never actually touch a decision with, and you could use there. But I mean, I think that it at the base level is knowing, can you explain it in a way that a human can understand? And if you have to hide all of your data sources from me, can I really use this for the purposes that I think that I need to use it for? And that becomes a really big issue, because if you're talking about, I can't invent income. I have to know where that income comes from if I'm using it and making a decision. Conversely, I don't really care where you got the information from, maybe if what I'm doing is aggregating data so that I can put together a quarterly brief. Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll just as an aside, because you mentioned one of the side things I do today uh, at Wilco is I do vendor integration agreements, and I edited the standard agreement so that it has all the AI requirements of the vendor. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get to use AI unless you obey all these certain rules, and it's it is an interesting thing because it's it's hard. Let's put it that way. Like, it's onerous to live by all of these requirements, right? It's onerous to have full explainability of everything you do. It's onerous to say, even if you don't have human in the loop the way you're talking about, Kyle, on the actual operations, to have human in the loop to be monitoring that your AI hasn't strayed, right? That it is still consistent. Like, we we don't talk a ton about this, but the idea that you have to test your AI thoroughly, really actually human test it or test it, and then keep testing it to ensure it hasn't strayed, like that alone is a lot of work, right? But
Yep.
you have to be able to prove that it hasn't changed from what it's supposed to be doing and the level at which it does it.
So an interesting thing that's happened in the advancement of AI recently, man, when we started this podcast, that was one of the things we used to talk about. Like every week there's something new, and we kind of got off that because but the reasoning, right? The model's ability to explain their reasoning has gotten way better. So this all still kind of cycles back down to prompt engineering, which is, hey vendor, can you change your AI, how you're using AI to include for every decision that it's making or everything that it's doing, the reasoning behind how it's reaching the conclusion, documented in a way that's human understandable? Maybe that's the request you got to make of your vendor, and then they got to go make that change, and then all of a sudden you have that access to what what's there. So flashback 5 months ago, there was no reasoning. You just got answers, and you had no idea how it got there, right? So I thought that was a pretty powerful advancement that all the AI models leveraged. The other thing I'll throw out there is my experience with some of the code that I'm doing is, I'll be working in Cursor with some random model, maybe even ChatGPT 5.2, and then I've got ChatGPT standalone that is kind of my senior architect. And I will take the output of what Cursor is doing, because I always have it say, go make this change and summarize what you changed. And then I'll take that and I'll copy and paste that over to ChatGPT and go, this is what it said it's going to do, and this is what it did. What do you think? And 90% of the time, it's like, it made good decisions. And every once in a while, it's like, whoa, click the undo button, send this prompt back to them and tell them they got to do it this way. So you have AI monitoring the other AI, and it's been brilliant. And, sometimes I feel weird. I'm the human in the middle, copying and pasting prompts between two AI systems, but it's forcing me to stay on top of and understand what's going on. But it is a double check that what's being done is valid. So, maybe there's a vendor solution that's out there like, hey, we're the AI vendor that audits all the AI work that all your other AI vendors are doing, something along that lines. But it is interesting to think about between reasoning and leveraging multiple tools that you get some level of comfort in terms of your ability of, yeah, privacy is good, the fairness is good, it's explainable, all the things that a vendor really needs to do to be able to work with a mortgage banker.
Yeah, but at what point in time is are the regulatories, is government going to say, yeah, instead of you having to do all this work with the vendor that's using an AI model, you have another model or two models checking that model to make sure it's doing the things right? And is that the fox guarding the fox that's guarding the hen house? Like, is it, how do you then validate that? Like, I don't think the government's ever going to sign off and say, well, no, I'm not going to be that definitive. It's
I
not
think
that
that
black
there
and
will
white.
come a time. I just think that we're not there yet. I mean, as long as there are hallucinations, as long as you can continue to find and you continue to see like weird things that, Grok came up and told some kid that they should, make a print a gun or whatever, I mean, just weird stuff that bubbles up through the social media world. As long as you have those, I think that there's always going to be pressure. But it doesn't it already feel like it gets better and better and better and better. I mean, the answers are better, the reasoning's better, the hallucinations are less. I'm not arguing with it over stupid stuff like whether or not Bill Pulte is the head of FHFA. I mean, like simple stuff.
How much of that, Ruth, is not only are the models getting better, but all of our collective prompt engineering is getting better,
It is.
right? Like in the vibe coding stuff that I do, I now include almost every time, do not make any other changes outside of the scope of this specific request that I am making. And just putting that last sentence in on every prompt has decreased the number of times I'm like, oh, I didn't ask it to make that change. Why did it do that? Right? It just doesn't do that because it's following the instruction not to deviate from the prompt. Right? So between the models being better and our prompt engineering getting better, the output is getting better and more reliable.
So that's what you tell your kids. Why can't you be like ChatGPT and just listen to me?
So, Rob, you rattled off the things that were in the original article: privacy, fairness, explainability, consistency, and there's some other things that you might get into. But of those four: privacy, fairness, explainability, consistency, which one would you guys worry most about if you were hiring an AI vendor to do something, inside a company that you worked at? Does one jump out and you say like, that's the one I really worry about how you're going to handle? Like, they need to really be sharp on how they've designed their AI.
To me, it's the explainability, because with explainability, you kind of get consistency, right? You get the fairness. Like if you can explain what you're doing, I can human in the loop help evaluate, is it being consistent? Is it being fair? I may not have the exposure to what's happening from a privacy perspective, but I like the explainability one.
I agree.
I agree.
So fairness bothers me because fairness is, as much as
Subjective.
as much as you can say you're going to fail or pass or fail an audit based on some fairness stuff, there is some subjectiveness to us, and there's a lot of, I don't want to say, there's a part of it that is backward looking, right? That it has to do with looking at a whole portfolio and doing like the geography, like, so that one worries me. the one that actually bothers me the most, and honestly, I didn't even think about this concept until you guys started talking about it. The one that bothers me the most is consistency. I feel like because it's not code, when somebody changes their AI, how do I know it's regression tested? What is even regression testing an AI tool, like a
Yeah.
model? Like, I worry about change control on AI. Like, hey, we released a new version. Okay, like I worry enough about software changing.
Yeah.
What happens when AI changes? Like, does
Well,
that
that's
worry you guys?
we touched on that topic before, and we said when you code to one version and you get a new one, you may your company, it may break, it may not work, or it's using old information and therefore it's not giving you the results you'd expect to keep up with your competitors. So you can't stay on the old model, but so you have to move forward, but you have to introduce those risks. It's just a fact. You do it today, whether you have AI or not. You buy a software, it has a version, regulations change. You got to have your devs scramble to fix something until the vendor actually gets it done. And then when the vendor gets it done, do you rip out what you put in and you use the vendor's native, or it's been so long that you have to keep it? And that's a complaint of most of the people who buy software from any vendor. It happens. I'm not getting on the vendors. It's just when you have to what they call workaround, it sticks. It becomes the work. It becomes the way to do it, and then it's hard to remove it. People get used to it. You got to train to it, that kind of stuff. So,
And in the human world, you have employees who are inconsistent day to day.
yep,
You have new hires to come in and do it their way. So this isn't a unique AI problem. It is unique in that there's a lack of visibility into what's going on, but consistency, explainability, fairness, and privacy all relate to what happens with human beings as well.
So
yeah,
it just makes me think though that the same way you said, you tell Claude and Cursor and don't change anything else. Like you need that setting on your AI tools. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to alter the model or the prompt or whatever components of AI it's using, but don't change anything else the way anything else works.
Yeah.
Only, and you need a guarantee that it's actually going to do it because otherwise it's not writing code, right?
Yeah.
It's especially most LLMs today, it's just math. And if you do something that slightly alters the math, you get different answers.
So I'm going to transition us to what did we do with AI this week?
Hmm.
Well, I finally, and I'm saying this, I reached out to Mario. That's what I did, and I started down the path to get signed up with. I think we landed on Lovable for now, but I don't know. Cursor may be the right choice too, but with Claude, signing up for Anthropic, right? That's what we did? I just want to look back. I can't remember where we landed, but I'm going to start building out tools for helping around little problems I need to solve, like you started, Rob. Like workout schedule or these kind of things, and just start actually diving into AI. So I'm beginning down that path, and I also use Copilot. I can't tell you what I did on it because it's probably a little too specific, but work related, I can't share it. But I did have it leveraged. I leveraged it and it spit out some great results, like absolutely on point. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. And it was Copilot. I mean, I've always thought Copilot was like the vanilla of all this stuff. Like, yeah, they're never, but they do a pretty good job. I'm happy with it.
Enterprise Copilot that's reading your OneDrives, that's getting into your emails and stuff like that is a different experience than the Copilot as an LLM compared to ChatGPT. So it sounds like you were maybe touching into the Enterprise Copilot experience, which is actually unique. There's no other tool that has the level of depth that it can get into in your business enterprise.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I have have someone right now spending all of their time putting metadata on all of my previous files and whatnot so Copilot can actually find it.
So you can't just throw all your documents into a folder and let it rag through it and
You
create the,
can.
I mean,
You
yeah.
can. But, I mean, it's not as effective.
Okay.
So I get to give the stupid cautionary AI tale because, as I teased to you guys, I have another Taco Bell episode. Taco Bell, Monday nights.
Yep.
The wife insists. I go to Taco Bell a couple weeks ago. They have the AI ordering is back. So they had it, they got rid of it and put humans in, and they came back. Mario orders ahead, so I pull up and I say, I ordered on the app, my name is Mario, and being the trusting soul that I am, when it pops up my order and says, when it pops up the order and says, is this your order? I just say, oh, yes. And it was not. I was far too trusting of AI. I had to talk to the human being at the counter and say.
So you didn't like the burrito,
No, you
the 6
failed.
burrito supremes?
So it was the order for Mary.
Mm.
No.
Oh, no, last name of O? Mary O.
No.
Okay.
So cautionary tale, don't trust AI. Ever.
Good cautionary tale.
Ever. Yeah.
Or be better at being the human in the loop. Like you were supposed to be the human in the loop, and you
Well,
missed.
fortunately, there was a Taco Bell human in the loop.
Yeah. And also prompt engineering, Mario. Come on.
That's right.
Got to be more specific.
Well, my quick one is Spotify has come up with AI-driven playlists, and I have found all sorts of new music that I've never heard before that I really enjoy. So you give it an AI prompt of what kind of music you're in the mood for, it builds a playlist, you hit play, and I'm getting exposed to all sorts of new artists, super easy to use. Tip of the hat to Spotify.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great. Well, if that's all we've got, we're done with the walk with the dog. So I'm Kyle Myers.
I'm Rob Katz.
I'm Ruth Lee.
Still Mario De Benedetto.
And this has been the AI Riff.
Wires hum like whispers in the deep dark night. Shadows dancing strange under neon light. Digits spinning fast like a gambler's hand. The clock chimes change, it's the new command. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear. A melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion. A tide of cold like the endless ocean. Binary prophets riding fading streams. Data flows like rivers fueling all our dreams. Simple or savvy, it's all the same path. Under skies of innovation, we redraw the map. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear. A melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion. A tide of cold like the endless ocean. Set the rhythm to the beat of change we sing. Every click and hum a key that rings. A revolution, quiet, but it's vast. Building empires where echoes of futures cast. Oh, the future calls with a voice so clear. A melody of progress in every ear. No turning back, the wheels in motion. A tide of cold like the endless ocean.